Hallo, hier ist wieder der Energy Podcast zur Mittagszeit über seriöses Feng Shui und mehr mit Astrid, Nicole und Chennai. Unser heutiges Thema ist, da wir immer noch an diesem tollen Retreat sind hier im Odenwald mit den 3 wunderbaren Meistern, haben wir ein paar Teilnehmer befragt, was das Besondere ist hier, was sie hier erleben. Und heute haben wir zu Gast die Marcia. Die ist ursprünglich aus Hongkong, aber es wird viel Englisch gesprochen gerade, deshalb das Interview wird auch in Englisch geführt, von daher. Aber sie lebt in Belgien und hat eine sehr interessante Geschichte, die wir jetzt in Englisch hören werden. Von daher, hallo Marcia.
And welcome.
Hello, nice to meet you all.
It's a very big honor and pleasure to have you here. We heard you are from Hong Kong, you are a professional dancer.
Yes.
And you are also, I think, kind of a healer, body healer. And you do the internal Qi Gong.
Yes.
So my first question would be,
Yeah, how do you, maybe you could just tell us a little bit about your background and how this Qigong or this internal Qigong fits into your profession and how you as a dancer experienced it.
Definitely. Yeah, so as you have been already mentioned, so yes, I have been dancing professionally for the last 10 years. And I came to Europe because of this dream to be able to live as a dancer, as a performer on stage and other occasion. And I am indeed, I'm learning and I'm on my way to learn to how to give more care to the body. But as a dancer that I have always been seeing before, I have always been seeing the body more as a tools. So I was using that tools very much. But then I didn't know the way to take good care of it. So then actually at a certain point in my career, I encountered a burnout. I think then it's not only a physical fatigue, like a physical exhaustion, but it's also kind of like in the whole being. I felt a certain kind of lack. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I felt the energy that as a performer that you keep giving out the energy, but then I felt that I don't know how to get it back, or that I couldn't receive it. Mm-hmm. And actually, that's how I started my journey to search for what can help me. And actually, that's how I discovered and encountered the internal arts we have been doing here in the healing camp. Yeah.
And from a dancer's perspective, does these internals, do they replenish you, and how did it affect your burnout? Did you regain your strength or your stamina, or was it? And how long did it take you to recover from your fatigue?
Yeah, maybe we can. Should we go a little bit into the internal arts we are doing here, or that has been already covered before?
No, just tell us your personal experience.
Okay, yeah. For me, as I said, like I couldn't find a way to actually to recycle energy. Mm-hmm. So actually, this internal art, one of the things I think, for example, the first thing I think in what we have been learning here, in all the internal arts we have been learning here, they emphasize like the steps of grounding ourselves. Mm-hmm. and that already gave me a new perspective, like of how to that how actually we are not like a autonomous, how to say, we are not like a complete separate atom that we keep, like it's like a battery, you know, like you can just keep generating energy, but actually that we need to get energy from somewhere, or that actually we need to be able to perceive also where could we have the connection, which is, I mean, we can talk about it more like physiologically, like in the body, in the fascia, but also I think as in terms of like as a human being, how actually we also be able to receive energy from open our heart, you know, to the others, to receive, you know. And that has, I think that has really helped me. I think different levels, like what I already said, like more in a more maybe physical level, you know, grounding actually, how can you open your body that you can actually let the gravity to support you better, so you're not like holding yourself and doing all the movement the whole day and holding the tension, and then more in terms of the whole being. Then also how can I actually, when I perform, how can I actually be grounded and at the same time open my heart and receive a give offer, but also be able to receive the energy from my colleagues, co-worker, but also from the spectators, from the audience and my surroundings.
Have you also experienced that this concept of internals helps you in your performance, so that you maybe use less physical strength and let the internals do or support you in your art? Yeah, definitely. Like like for example in let's say maybe in the traditional dance education, we still approach movement very externally. So a lot of time we started by copying the shapes, or that we started by also refer our body parts to space, which is nothing wrong in itself, and it makes also a very nice aesthetic. So it can also express certain ideas. And even sometimes when we are using the body to express emotions. But then maybe in my dance education, I haven't encountered like how can we generate that, or how can we at least connect that to the internal of your being, because I think. And that, of course, that is done by many levels as well. Like you can say, okay, if I'm dancing or I'm performing to express certain emotions, and how can that connect it to my inner being, instead of just like instead of just shaping it from the outside, commanding your body or commanding your emotions to act in certain way. Actually, now it gives me more idea, or at least more space to see how can that actually connected to what I have already in the body, you know, and how to channel that better, and also how to maybe also how that let it to go through as well. And that from movement wise, I mean, that's very, I think it has changed so much. Just like I think my colleagues have told me
like you have changed a lot, like the way that you dance and how, because in a way it's also in the movement it's very clear, because then you use much less effort, so you allow more the energy to pass. So it's a much more efficient way, and also I would say, how they say, in a way it's more like a recycle energy. In terms of movement and also performativity, I would say.
Mm-hmm. So we are doing these internal movements, which maybe our listeners don't know what it is. It's this whole healing, Qi Gong, whatever, Kung Fu, whatever.
Yeah. So the aspect we're talking about is how the internal structures of our body, the fascia, the tendons, and so on, help generate energy to express that outwardly.
Yes, and we do these exercises, and I am not a dancer, but I feel my body almost wants to move by itself when the inside energy starts to flow. And that's my question. Is that what you experience?
Definitely more than before. Because, for example, I would say like also the internal practice, the first step for me is also to be aware. So actually be aware and also be acceptive of what is actually happening inside the body. I think a lot of time, due to external pressure, like no matter if you're a dancer or not, our body or our whole being just don't want to listen or feel what is actually going on inside. And it's very funny that when you have a profession as a dancer, actually that's very much so, because we are very used to like a very rigorous training that give command from the outside to the body. So we're a master of controlling the body, but from the outside. And then if you imagine that picture, you make yourself like in longer and longer time become almost like a puppet. And then I feel like the internal art is almost like putting back the puppet onto the ground. And I say, actually you can feel what are you made of. And then, for example, in the internal art, we talked about the fascia network. We also talk about different energy center. We talk about also the contact point with the floor. We also talk about how do we perceive those channels where you let the energy in and out. So it's really like you are putting a marionette back and then let it feel, oh yeah, that is actually inside the body. And then how can you then actually reanimate and that you are not anymore like being like a puppet that is like being command from outside, almost like you're having you're almost like you're having your soul back, and also maybe a better way to say that you're having your anchor back into your being.
It hears or it feels like there is a station, a charging station, where you go, where the puppet go back to the charging place.
Yeah, charging place. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so plug in, and you can also
regenerate
with all this stuff what we're learning here.
Yeah.
And we are now into day 5 of our healing retreat. So far, what's your feeling? Have you learned a lot more, or have you learned something new? Because you've started your journey into the internals before this retreat, I guess.
Yeah, like I think maybe since, well, I would say, since 2 years, I think I first encountered the internal arts, and I really had no idea back then. Even though culturally I'm from this root, you know, but I really had no idea. And this healing camp, I think, and this is my second healing camp. So the first one I did it in Bali, beginning of this year, and what I really appreciate in the healing camp is like the combination of the three internal arts that are introduced by the three masters. I think they really complement very well together to actually give even, no matter what kind of stage you are, they give you a different entry or approach of how actually energy, how can we actually work with this dimension with ourselves first and foremost, and then afterwards, of course, then can apply to healing and to creativity, to a lot of things. But first and foremost, it gave me very good chance, and every time I think I come back to it I recognize more and more. And I almost yesterday I was like, oh, actually I'm sensitive, because a lot of things that we haven't given space to listen. And so actually the more I practice, or the more that I come to the workshop, also meeting other people in their own learning process under the guidance of the masters, it opens up me another door again every time. Actually there I wasn't listening, and then I started to feel more I can feel that my sensitivity is developing deeper and deeper into the internals.
Wow. Oh, thank you so much. I just wondered, one thing I'm curious about, where do you see yourself in the dancing profession? Maybe one day teaching dance, but together with internals, something like that, to help your colleagues benefit from that?
Yeah, actually I'm I'm kind of secretly doing that already, because not officially, but because I mean it's just happening, you know, like it's like, if you give more, it's also just it's just also a much fun way to move, you know, that you're not controlling yourself, but you are feeling into yourself and allowing that to flow, you know, with intentions, whatever creative intention or a sharing intention. So definitely I am already secretly like sometimes in the, you know, like we always do warm up before rehearsal and things, and then do a little practice, or sometimes sharing that with my colleagues. And I'm also starting to host practice for Qi Gong, so one of the art we have been learning here. And definitely I think also all this art for me are very creative as well. So and with a very sustainable approach. This is what I like, because it's not by exhausting the body and the being, but it's actually by building a good foundation, that so that we can deal better with ourselves and the others.
Thank you so much for sharing. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
very much
for being here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I can listen much more to your speech, and but now we have to coming to the end, and so I switch back to German to
no problem
to close up and say, So, wir bedanken uns bei Marcia, die wirklich in Englisch, ich hoffe, ihr konntet alles sehr gut verstehen. Ansonsten fragt gern in unserem Podcast nach. Wir geben euch gern Antwort. Es war jetzt wunderschön, Marcia zu hören, was sie alles von ihrer Seite aus, von ihrem Tanzberuf heraus, in der Kombination zu dem, was wir hier im Odenwald alles an den Qi Gong, Medical Qi Gong und Guji gelernt haben und wie sie das in ihre Arbeit integriert. Das war jetzt die Kurzfassung. Ansonsten sage ich, wenn euch dieses Interview gefallen hat, lasst einen Daumen hoch hier, teilt es weiter. Es gibt da draußen bestimmt viele Künstler, Artisten, die tanzen auf der Bühne, ihr Performance geben und dadurch vielleicht auch so eine Energietankstelle benötigen, und gebt denen die Möglichkeit, hier in den Podcast reinzuhören. Sie freuen sich darüber. Und wir bedanken uns bei euch und sagen Bye bye. Tschüss.
Tschüss.